Reacher confirms its first spin-off show, but the plot details already have me concerned the television spin-off. It's hard to pull off. For every Frasier which successfully moved Dr. Frasier Crane, Kelsey Grammer, from the cozy confines of the Boston bar cheers to Seattle, there's a laundry list of failed TV continuations. Joey couldn't pick up the slack in the wake of Friends. We all love 21 Jump Street, and even the movie that spoofed it, but no one needed Richard Grieco to keep going with Booker. And now that it has been confirmed that the popular Prime Video thriller Reacher is getting a spin-off show for supporting character Frances Neagley, I'm personally worrying that we are heading down the path toward the Ropers, and not a necessary continuation like Better Call Saul. Deadline now confirms what they initially reported, that Reacher co-star Maria Sten will take her character Frances Neagley to her own show, tentatively titled Neagley. The brains behind the Reacher show are developing Neagley, with executive producer and showrunner Nick Santora teaming with his Prison Break colleague Nicholas Wooten to bring this new show to Prime Video. It's noted in the story that Alan Ritchson is expected to appear in Neagley. They even go so far as to say that the upcoming Reacher Season 3, which adapts a Lee Child book that Neagley's not a part of, could be used to set up the spin-off. That's where I, as a die-hard fan of the Lee Child series of Jack Reacher books, start to grow a tiny bit concerned. Persuader, the book on which Reacher Season 3 will be based, is an airtight thriller set off the coast of Maine, with Jack Reacher, Alan Ritchson, infiltrating a criminal organization to help locate and possibly retrieve a kidnapped federal agent. It's a textbook example of Reacher having to lone wolf it. Shoehorning Neagley into the story because you want to set up a spin-off is the first sign of artistic compromise, instead of doing what's right for the story. It was this response, as part of the Deadline article, that made me worry that Neagley is working against the impact of the character. Speaking about the opportunity to play Frances Neagley in a spin-off show, Maria Sten said, "Here's the thing though, as much as I like Maria Sten in the part, and I do think she's an excellent choice to play Neagley on screen, the character of Frances Neagley works best as an enigma. She appears when Reacher needs her, efficiently kicks tons of ass, and glides back into the shadows." I'm not fully saying that there's no way to make an interesting show around Neagley, but I've always seen her and most of the side characters in Reacher's universe as the less we know about them, the more effective they are as assets. Peeling back the surface on a character like Neagley almost negates her impact. I promise to go into Neagley with an open mind. I like Maria Sten in the role. When given the chance to interview her, she has shown enormous respect for Lee Child source materials. So I hope that Santora and Wooten cook up a storyline that's worthy of the spin-off. Because there are countless Child books that can carry additional seasons of Reacher, so a lackluster spin-off will just have me questioning why that time wasn't spent on more Reacher seasons, while Alan Ritchson is still willing to suit up as the wandering spirit of vengeance. Amazon Prime's Reacher, based on Lee Child's best-selling Jack Reacher novels, has been a breakout success. The first season, starring Alan Ritchson as the towering, justice-seeking ex-military police officer, captivated audiences with its fast-paced action, gritty crime-solving, and unapologetically straightforward hero. Now, the announcement of a spin-off show has fans buzzing. While expanding the Reacher universe might seem like an exciting prospect, the plot details that have surfaced so far are a bit concerning and could present some significant challenges. The spin-off, a promising expansion? Spin-offs have become a go-to strategy for popular shows, especially in the streaming era where established franchises draw in a guaranteed audience. Think of the successful expansions of Breaking Bad into Better Call Saul or The Mandalorian branching from the Star Wars universe. In the case of Reacher, the idea of exploring different characters or stories within that tough, morally ambiguous world makes sense. There's certainly room for more tales of justice, corruption, and hard-hitting action in the vein of Jack Reacher's adventures. However, spin-offs are also tricky. For every Better Call Saul, there's a Joey, the ill-fated Friends spin-off that tanked because it lacked the chemistry of its source material. So what's the approach here? Amazon's spin-off is rumored to focus on one of Reacher's lesser-known associates, Frances Neagley. Neagley is a former military MP and private investigator who's appeared in several of the Jack Reacher novels, including Bad Luck and Trouble, where she plays a pivotal role as Reacher's trusted ally. She's known for her loyalty, sharp instincts, and no-nonsense attitude. If executed correctly, Neagley could easily carry a series of her own. But that's a big if, and early plot details suggest potential problems that might make this spin-off struggle to capture the same appeal as its parent series. Can Frances Neagley hold her own? Neagley, as depicted in the books, is a complex character. She shares Reacher's military background, his commitment to justice, and his ability to operate outside the bounds of the law when necessary. However, unlike Reacher, she lacks his physical intimidation. Neagley's approach is more cerebral, relying on her intelligence and cunning rather than brute force. This sets her apart from Reacher, but it also raises the question, will audiences who are used to the smash and crash style of the main series embrace a more subtle, introspective lead? Alan Ritchson's Reacher is a magnetic presence. His physicality, his deadpan humor, and his single-minded determination are key ingredients in the show's success. It's a delicate balance of charisma and capability that makes him both a terrifying threat to his enemies and an oddly likable anti-hero. Neagley, in contrast, could struggle to achieve that same magnetism. While Maria Sten, who portrays Neagley, is a strong actor, her character's reserved, quiet nature may not translate as well to a lead role. Without Reacher's looming presence and hard-hitting style, there's a risk the spin-off could feel like a watered-down version of the original. A lack of familiarity. Another concern is the potential lack of character familiarity for casual fans. Neagley is not a household name like Jack Reacher, and while she's featured in several books, she's often in the background. She's not a larger-than-life figure like Reacher, and her presence in the series so far has been more supportive, giving viewers only glimpses into her character. For a spin-off to succeed, it needs to create an emotional connection with viewers. Fans have already bought into Reacher's story because of the iconic status he holds in pop culture. His lone wolf attitude, brutal efficiency, and mysterious backstory are all well established, and audiences know what to expect. Neagley doesn't have that same widespread recognition. Without a clear emotional hook or deep connection to the source material, the spin-off may struggle to pull in viewers, particularly those unfamiliar with her role in the books. The plot's direction plot-wise, early rumors suggest that the Neagley spin-off will focus on a covert investigative mission involving government corruption. While this seems like fertile ground for thrilling plotlines, it also feels like well-trodden territory. A show about an undercover agent dismantling a government conspiracy isn't exactly a fresh concept. The Reacher series works because it doesn't pretend to be something it's not. It's about a lone warrior dispensing justice, one broken bone at a time. If the Neagley spin-off follows a more procedural route, it risks becoming generic. The market is flooded with procedural shows featuring tough investigators uncovering corruption and dirty secrets. What will make this one stand out? Without the unique flair that Reacher brought, his unpredictable, often brutal methods, and the constant air of danger he brings to each situation, the spin-off might come off as just another crime drama. Balancing tone and expectations. Another issue is the tone. Reacher is a show where the rules of engagement are clear. Expect intense fight scenes, gritty realism, and a lead character who operates in shades of gray. Neagley's character might shift the tone to something more subtle, which could alienate fans expecting more of the same action-heavy content. If the show leans too heavily into quiet,